Did you ever go through that phase where you watched porno with your friends?
I never, ever enjoyed watching a porno with my
No,
friends.
I'm not saying enjoyed it, but where it just happened. Like, you'd go to a friend, hey, check this video out.
I watched one porno one time with old buddy, and he was on his bed, and I was on his floor, and we were going to sleep, and it was a Skinamax flick. I was super uncomfortable.
No, that's what I was going to say. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know who's liking that. Where? But I remember tons of times growing up, some guy would be like, hey, I got this porno video. And I'd be sitting around with like 6 other guys, all very distant from each other, by the way. Some guy even standing up in the back of the room just in case. Doesn't want any spill.
Sure, you guys are on each other's laps and whatnot. We know.
Sure,
but
sure.
right.
No, well, there's a picture. I remember doing it, and I remember just being there the whole time, and I'm only doing it because all my friends are doing it, but I remember being there and being like, this is the weirdest thing ever. Do I wish for once that my mom would call me and say I have to come home? Do I wish the roof would cave in? Because we've talked, you and I have talked before about never being to a strip club, and everybody gives us a hard time about it, but I'm really not a strip club guy. I mean, I just think it's dirty. I don't want to be sitting around with a bunch of other guys, half staff, looking at a bunch of dirty whores dancing. That's not really my thing. I want to know it's just for me. I don't want to know it's for everybody in this place. I mean, even if it's just, pretend. So I'm totally against that because I just think it's the grossest thing ever. And for me, that experience was kind of the same thing. But I remember, like, it happened multiple times. Friends are like, hey, blah, 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 let's watch this video. And I find myself, like, sitting on the floor in a corner, not even the slightest bit aroused. And that's what I think that's funny. I'm not even sure why we were watching them. I'm not sure what we were trying to get out of that. Tips, I don't know. We didn't have some kind of powwow afterwards. I think we should have, maybe. Discuss some of the things we saw and go over some pointers. We weren't even to that point yet. I mean, we were just like, oh, women, amazing.
Yeah, I didn't have that because I only had one buddy who ever was really watching porn, but I had this friend I'd had over like every day. You know, you have that token friend that you're hanging out every day with. And my buddy Rory in high school, like, we would get off the bus, walk over to my house, I'd put my stuff up and change, then we were going to walk down to his house. As I'm changing in my bathroom, I would come out, and Rory is taking whatever VHS he knows there's a boob shot in and paused it on the screen. And, I mean, he was amazing. Like, I had Under Siege up there. He would do True Lies to What's-Her-Name Dancing over there and stuff.
Sure.
And it was just like, how do you know all this, Rory? I'm pretty sure you're a chronic masturbator, buddy. He's like, number one, look at that. Tell me you don't want to. And I'm like, well, not in front of you, but...
That takes me back to, we've talked a little bit on the website about the old pause and toss.
Yeah.
Talking about the pause and toss, I remember that the first movie that I remember genuinely being excited about as a kid was Red Heat with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he has that scene where he's shooting the guys up in the hotel. One of the guys ends up breaking through the wall. And I believe there's a girl and a guy in the room having sex, and the girl's super hot. And they're kind of like fighting it out while the girl's in the background like screaming and grabbing her boobs and stuff. I remember that kind of being my first, and I would just keep doing the rewind on it because it wasn't like DVD players. Like, it was way more complicated to do that stuff back then. And it would take a while. You know how you press the rewind button and VHS tapes always do that pause because it's got to turn the tape the other way?
Yeah.
So that was amazing.
Absolutely.
Here's the other thing. Actually getting to the point with the pause and toss where you actually pause it, does the screen jitter a lot on the old VHS tape?
Yeah, and sometimes you'd even get those lines.
Sure,
Remember
yeah,
the
no, and
lines
you
that would ruin it?
couldn't really see it. And it was this whole thing you had to orchestrate, and at the same time you're trying not to take your hand off. That's just, for me, that's the first film I ever remember.
That's weird that you say Red Heat while we're recording this, because I specifically remember having this conversation with you prior to this day, and I remember you saying Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport, where he's putting his pants on in the morning, and you get a picture of his well-sculptured ass. I'm pretty sure you had mentioned that. But, whatever. I'll give you Red Heat if you want Red Heat, but is that weird that you'd be so straight about it? Yeah, my actual first one, and you'll remember this movie, being a basketball player, White Men Can't Jump was like the greatest basketball movie and the dirtiest. Rosie Perez in the bed.
No, he didn't.
Had her nipple exposed.
Yeah.
And she was in the bed by herself, so Woody wasn't in the picture. Well, he was, but you know what I mean. I don't have to play that one. We all know. So anyway, I would pause it to Rosie Perez, and I didn't even think she was that attractive, but it's like, there's this nice chocolatey nipple,
She's not attractive, and she's, okay.
All right, so that was mine. Kirsten, what about, sure, and, here's the thing, though. Kirsten's, let's not talk about my girl like that, because she's well respected, and she doesn't pop the top. There's not a Kirsten. So I mean, I got to make do with what she gives me, but I'm so obsessed with her, though. I can tell you, like, the movies where they look pretty shapely, where you would want to pause them, so you're getting the best picture you can get with her having a shirt on. You know what I mean? Like, you'll get a nipple outline. You know what I mean?
We've covered the gamut today. I'm pretty sure we should call that a day because all this talking about masturbating is, yeah. Well, anyway, I can't finish to your voice, Dustin. That's the reality of it. So I'm gonna have to let you go. I really think we covered a lot of stuff. I'm feeling good about the the corners that we've hit. I'm really hoping some young boy hears this and starts masturbating in the shower a lot earlier in life than you and I had to suffer. I'm really just hoping I can reach out and touch somebody right now.
Absolutely. I totally agree, and weird that you can't finish to my voice. I just want the listeners to know that, this is only being recorded on your computer. How convenient. So, that being said, masturbation's come a long way. We're all doing it, and women, you love it, because I'm getting asked about it all the time.
Let's stop making fun of other kids for masturbating, because one day you're going to be bragging about it, and that's...
Absolutely. And those kids who are getting it done early, let me tell you, those are the kids on prom night that are going to be happy boys, okay? Experience down there. They're going to be able to do some things that you guys can't do, the late discovery. And I want to as always, give a shout out to my fellow Red community. I know we're late bloomers. The gingers out there, when you pull them down and the carpet matches the pubes, I want you to be proud of what you're looking at down there. Give yourself a nice release.
Thank you for everybody that's been visiting the website. We're looking to grow as much as possible, so definitely make sure you're telling all your friends about it. If you've enjoyed what you heard here, or you're plain weirded out, I don't care either way. Tell as many people as you can about it. We're trying to get as many viewers to the site as we can, and hopefully make this a big thing and be able to update more often for you guys and stuff. So thank you for listening to the podcast. And Dustin, any last words?
No, Johnson and Virga together. Both words mean penis. Think about it, everybody. That's all.
We want to leave you with that thought.
That's all I got. I appreciate everybody, as always, visiting the site too. You're all special to me and want to be a part of everybody's life. All right, well, I'm gonna go because I gotta pinch one off, man. I've been holding it now for about a half hour of this conversation, so.